Sorry, I think Mr. Benedict, your mic is mute. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Oh, okay, thank you for that, Mr. Texman. So, okay, I'll start again. My name is Benedict. I welcome you all to this great event, which is an event of Open Data Day. So the theme of this event is geospatial data access in Nigeria. That's to do with accessing geospatial data in Nigeria. So today I'm not alone. I'm with some of my colleagues here who are the panelists for this great discussion. So I want everyone to sit tight and enjoy this great informative event. So I'll be introducing our panelists for today. First on our list is Quadri Adebayo, who is a GIS analyst, certified GIS analyst. So Adebayo, please can you unmute yourself and greet the audience?
Hi everyone. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for joining. I wish us a fruitful deliberation and happy Open Data Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, next on our list is Tessini Dombo, who is also a GIS analyst. Mr. Tessini, please can you unmute your mic and say hi to the audience?
Thank you very much, Mr. Benedict. As you have rightly said, my name is Dombo Tessini. I'm glad to be here, and I'm also glad to be a part of this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next on our list is Bamidele, who is a GIS analyst and also a GIS developer. Mr. Bamidele, please can you say hi to the audience?
Hi everyone, I'm very excited to be here as well. I believe I'm going to have a very interesting discussion today. Happy Open Data Day, everyone.
And so this event is geospatial data access. Like we all know, I know most of us, some of us are professionals, some of us are students, some of us are researchers. And when I was an undergraduate, one of the problems we had back then was accessing this geospatial data or accessing data generally during our research or our project. So I could remember my project was on map revision of parts of New in Imo State. So we had to source for base maps, had to source for satellite imagery. It was really a headache back then. So it didn't really allow us to really concentrate on the creative thinking or the critical thinking. So this event is one of the events that tries to inform researchers, inform students, and also professionals, on how they could source data and stuff like that. So I welcome you all once again. But first and foremost, we have to talk about what is data and what is geospatial data. So I'll be discussing with the panelists. Each of them will have something to say on defining in their own words what geospatial data and also what data itself means. So I'll call on Quadri to address us on that.
Okay, thank you, Benedict. Data generally, though it depends on the context you are actually viewing it. Some people believe it's a raw fact that you need some certain analysis before you can get meaningful information out of it. While to some, it's just like a statistics collected together for reference or for future analysis. So, but when you introduce an element of geography into it, you get what we call geographic data set. And in my opinion, I believe all data has all data are geographic in nature because in as much as you can answer the question of where, for example, when you have a certain data set, you ask yourself, where is this data is representing, either attributes or anything. So once you can answer that, there is no way that geo element will be there, and that's what makes a data a geographic data. So, and data is one of the powerful elements that makes geographic GIS component to be complete. No matter how a GIS analyst is experienced, no matter how powerful your software is, if you don't have data to engineer the software, the component, the workflows are not complete. So data is like a key component of a geospatial workflows.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Adebayo. So next is Mr. Tessini. Please kindly come on stage to tell us about geospatial.
All right. Thank you so much. As we all know, the word geospatial can be broken down into geo and spatial. Then we now have data on its own. And so if you look at the totality of the word geospatial, we are actually referring to spatial. So let's just say spatial data. So if you are looking at spatial data, we are talking about spatial data. Spatial actually has to do with space, dimension. And so if we are saying geospatial data or spatial data, it tells us that the data has certain attributes or qualities. And these qualities in this kind of data has to do with what? Space. It has to do with dimension. And that is why it's called a spatial data. So a data that has a geographical acclimation to it, just as my colleague has said, Mr. Adebayo, is what is a spatial data. That is to say, it has an X and Y. It can be tied to a particular location. It can be tied to a particular space, or you can measure some form of dimension from it. I think that's that for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. So next, who is the GIS developer also, please, what's your take on data and geospatial data?
Honestly, these guys have said everything. So I think I'll just pass. Let's just go to the next question, please. Thank you.
All right. So as we all know, from what they have said, the data are actually raw facts. So what differentiates data from geospatial data has to do with the locational attributes that is integrated into it. So going to the next, so this phase has to do, the program list has to do with discussion. Also, there will also be a question and answer section. So if you check the registration link, there was a space for questions. So those questions that was asked will be addressed in this event. And also there will be an ice-breaking session. It's actually a game session that will allow that will test people on their just little knowledge on GIS geospatial data also. And after that, there will be a little presentation by the team, by the panelists, on links and resources where we could find geospatial data in Nigeria. So going to the next discussion. Now we want to ask some of the panelists. They already have some challenges doing their research and stuff. So we want to hear from each panelist what are the previous challenges you had sourcing for data and how did you overcome these challenges. So I will start with Bamidele Clement first. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. At least now I'm going to. I will not finish all the answers like my other colleagues did now. But in short, I will just give some. I will just share my experience about data. Uh, Actually, data is the bedrock of so many things we do on this planet. And if we take out data, we are going to miss out on a lot of things. So my experience with data, well, looking for data for projects and assignments in school, even at work, has been very bit uh, cumbersome over the years, but I can see that it is improving. Yes, it's improving. Every day we discover new sources for data, especially people like us that don't have too much money to buy data from big companies. So it just takes your instinct to search the internet using the available search engines to actually get the actual data you are looking for. Also, there are some data sets you get from collaborating with people in the GIS community and all that. So the experience so far has been uh, tedious, but I can say it's improving over time. So I believe Tessini can share his experience and let's hear. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Tessini.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clement. Thank you, Mr. Benedict. Well, there's quite a lot of experiences that one will actually come across when it comes to data gathering or having access to data, most especially geospatial data. As we all know, getting this data is quite difficult because we don't have enough repository of this kind of data available to us. Most times we go to institutes, we go to let's say organizations that we think that they have this data. And at the end of the day, you'll find out that these data are not readily available. Even if they are available, we might end up having to pay for it. And so that has actually been one of the challenge. The second challenge that I came across is the issue of interoperability and also the issue of how accurate that data is. And so most times you go to places, you ask a friend, please, can I have this data? And then he or she gives you the data, and then you decide to map that data. And then he tells you this information is for Abuja. And then you end up finding yourself in Sokoto. So these are the kind of issues we come across when it comes to open data. But I think at the end of this session, we'll be able to understand that there are available places, there are websites we can actually go to where we can get valuable data, correct data, data whereby if they tell you this is Abuja and you overlay your data, you find out that you are in Abuja. So I think that's that for now. So I think Adebayo can add more flesh to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tessini. Adebayo.
Okay. Thank you, Benedict. My experience is not different from others. As rightly, the major problem we are having in Nigeria is there is no geospatial data infrastructure. In most cases, it's not like those data not exist, but there is no central repository you can actually go and find all the data sets you need at once. You might end up, though it depends on certain information you have, there are some data sets available that you might not even know you can have access to them for free. For example, during my undergraduate, I worked on integrating GIS with some statistical analysis, and I needed high-resolution satellite imagery for it. And Nigerian satellite is one of the best disaster monitoring satellites in the whole world. So, but when we reach out to NASDA through our HOD, head of department, we were able to get that kind of for free as a student then. But there are some certain information that you might not privy with, and if you don't have someone that point you to the right direction, and before they will accept certain data sets as worth sharing to the public, there will be validation to test it. So I believe with time is what GeoSyn and some other geo agencies they are actually working on to make sure we have a well-structured geospatial data infrastructure. And I believe with that, we'll be able to at least enable local, regional, or national data sharing. And there is no way, once we have that, it will actually increase efficiency among GIS practitioners, and at the same time, it will boost productivity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adebayo. Thank you so much. So from the experiences, you could learn that, from what Mr. Tessini said, it's not about you accessing this data. It's not about just accessing this data. Are this data accurate? So those are the things. And Mr. Adebayo talked about, having a geospatial data structure in Nigeria, structuring geospatial data, where you could verify this data. If I'm collecting this data, if it's an open source data, if I'm collecting this data, is this data verified? So, that is something the Nigerian government needs to also look into. So thank you very much for those experiences on geospatial data. So right now we'll be taking questions and answers. So if anyone has a question, please, you can put them on the chat box. So I'll be going through the chat box here to see, who has any question for our panelists or any challenges you are facing, and so they could advise you on how to go. So I'll be waiting for questions. Also, you can also, raise your hand in the audience. I will allow you to speak to ask your question. All right, I think we'll come back to the question and answer section. I'm here to get any question from the audience. I don't know, please, if you have any question, you could just raise your hand using the button down there. You just raise your hand and we'll allow you to speak or ask your question. All right, I have a question here. So it says, thanks to the organizer of this great event. His question is, can you tell me where to find static data about poachers' activities in Nigeria? And he gave examples, say name of game reserves, location, types of animals that can be found in different reserves, mortality and paternity rates, etc. So I don't know if any of the panelists wants to address that question right now. Clement is raising up his hand, so please can come on stage.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Please, if you are not speaking, please speak. So, Aliu, thank you for your question. You said, can you tell me where to find static data about poachers' activities in Nigeria? For example, name of grown reserves, location, and so on. This kind of data sets are actually very comprehensive data sets. And currently, there are several data sources, but you might not get specific all the specific information you are looking for because the data sets mostly available online are being crowdsourced. For instance, you can get data about the location of game reserves. They're getting the data of some parameters of the game reserve might be a bit cumbersome. And just like Tessinia said earlier, it's not about having the data, it's about the metadata. That is there's what we call interoperability when we're talking about spatial data, which we have some laid out specifications on how a data should be organized so that whenever anybody is taking that data, you know the attributes to expect and you know that whenever you are submitting a data to a repository, you know what attributes you accompany the data. So that way we have data sets that are of high quality. Towards the end of this discussion, we'll be sharing some platforms where you can access some data sets. We've tried to gather some that are related to Nigeria specifically, and there are some as well that you can access global data sets. So I believe during that session, you'll be able to find out which of these platforms that will be good for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clement. Thank you very much for addressing that. So the next question here is from Emmanuel. It says, thanks to the organizers of this event. My question is, where can I download a detailed soil map of Nigeria? So also I will take another question so we can all, the next person addressing it, to address all at once. Also, please, are these data readily available and free to all users? That is a question from Kami. Also, there's also a question from Timothy. Is there a community for geospatial data sharing in Nigeria? Interesting. Is there a community for geospatial data sharing in Nigeria? So also I have one from Sanity. How can I find a shared data set of coronavirus patients? How can I find a shared data set of coronavirus patients? Okay, so I'll allow Adebayo address some of these questions. Adebayo, are you there?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Benedict. For comprehensive soil data for Nigeria, the agency in charge of that is OSGov, but there is a vector layer of all soil types in Nigeria, from FA and agricultural organization. Though I don't know when last they update the data set, but the last time I used it, it was actually updated in 2002. Yes, if I'm not mistaken. So they have that one already. I think that one answers your question. The second question on community for geospatial data sharing. Yes, there is. And this one is not even limited to Nigeria alone. There is African Geoportal, which is data repository for Africa, and is part of the platform we'll be sharing with you at the end of this section. So on Africa Geoportal, you can contribute your data set to make it open, use data from GIS analysts. Most of the data are verified on African Geoportal. So all you need to do is just to create a free account of African Geoportal. You go to data section, then you see different data sets. You can search based on what you are looking for. You can search based on anything, and then you will get any data for use. Then there is another source, OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap too is like a community for data sharing, right? And you can contribute to the mapping community. You can also use data from the mappers. Then, if you now want to make use of those data sets in any of GIS software, download for free, and then you use it to access OpenStreet vector layer. Then you make use of it software.
Adibalo, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Adibalo?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you done addressing the questions?
I've addressed 2 of the questions.
Okay, so
what's the third one?
Okay, the third one is from Sanity. Okay, no, the third one is from Timothy. He said, is there a community for geospatial data sharing in Nigeria?
Yes, I've mentioned that. I mentioned Africa Geoportal, I mentioned OpenStreet. They are all community of data sharing.
Okay, all right. So,
OpenStreetMap is for the entire world, but there are a lot of youth mappers in Nigeria that they are contributing to the data repository. And the same thing with African Geoportal, which you can actually sign up for free. Then you access data from different GIS analysts, depends on what you are looking for. So African Geoportal is there for you to share data, communicate results of your analysis, and make it open for people to use.
all right. Another question is from Sanity. I will let Tessini handle that. He said, how can I find a shared data set of coronavirus patients? Mr. Tessini.
All right, Mr. Sanity, you are asking about coronavirus data set. Well, I think as my colleague has said, towards the end of this session, I would actually be sharing a particular open source data repository for COVID-19 data sets, as well as data sets that has to do with the genomes of those that have contracted COVID-19. And so these are basic, or let me say, these are deep informations for those that are in the health sector. And so I believe if we have people who are from the health sector and at the same time they are into GIS, I think that would be a platform whereby they can be able to see this kind of data readily available for their research or for whatever experiments they want to go with. So all I will say is I would encourage everyone to stay tuned because that is going to be the icing of the cake, whereby you'll be able to see where each of these data repositories are and then their exact websites. And they'll also be taking you through 1 or 2 of them, whereby you can be able to see different data sets. So I would ask that you stay tuned, Mr. Elijah, so that you will be able to see better answers to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tessini. We have another question here. He said, I'm in need of vectorized geospatial data, which include building, parcel level data, in relation to buildings, okay, road centers, water bodies, and other features of ETSI as a local government area for a research work.
Okay. That's a very good question. I think this particular person, Mr. Abdullahi, you are more direct on your question that you are asking. So I would love that you stay tuned. And once you stay tuned, you'll be able to see answers to this question because I will be showing you where you can be able to get all this information. So I would love that you stay tuned so that you can be able to see answers to this question. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. But quickly, I will want to also go back to can you mute your mic? Thank you. And also, please, if your video is on, please kindly switch it off, to allow a smooth process for this event, unless you want to, address the audience or something. So also, I have questions from the registration link because we left a survey form for people to ask, questions. So one of the questions from the survey link said, how can you verify accuracy and reliability of data obtained from open source? Okay, that is one of the questions. They say another question is, what is open data all about? That is another question. And also another question is, as geospatial analyst, how do we assess reliable and accurate data for research purposes? Some of these questions have already been addressed. Also, how can we be able to convince authorities to spend on geospatial data if data is live and life moves on data? Also, another person, how can I access open data or geospatial data in Nigeria? Another person said, please, is it related to research projects that will employ field workers to collect data for policy making? Okay, so I'll just pick three, because some of these questions here have been addressed. So I'll pick the ones that we haven't talked anything about, which is how can you verify accuracy and reliability of data obtained from open source? And another one is how can we convince authorities to spend on geospatial data? So Adebayo, if you are with us, please can you address those two questions?
Okay. Before I go there, someone asked how to verify the integrity of open source data, right?
Yes.
Okay. The first thing about open source data, most of open source data, they are data from people like us, GIS analysts, doing humanitarian services to just make data available for public consumption, right? Before some of the large open source data like OpenStreetMap, they have different levels and different margins. Like when you submit a particular data and you want to make it public, there will be some kind of sorry, where is that noise coming from? So there will be some kind of validation that must be done before that data is made public. But that still doesn't mean you will not do your own ground truthing. The end result of most of the GIS analysis, or let me say remote sensing analysis. So when you perform remotely sense analysis, you want to make sure you validate what the software, right? Some people will say it's garbage in, garbage out. If you input wrong data set, you will get wrong results. But once you make it an habit to always do ground truthing at the end of your GIS analysis, that is to verify what you've actually get from the software with the actual grant surface measurements. So grant two things will be the number one things to do on any GIS analysis whenever you perform your workflow and all that. So the second question, please, can you repeat that?
Okay, the second question is how can we convince the government, that is Nigerian government, to invest in geospatial data, since data is life and life moves with data.
Okay, the truth is, without legal work, without legal backing, I don't think we can actually do much as a country. And I believe the bill to establish a national geospatial data infrastructure is already at the Senate. And we are lucky the current Senate president has remote sensing and GIS background. I could remember during the last 2 years, I think last 2 years GIS conference, they discussed something like that. But the truth is, without legal backing, we cannot actually do much as a country. Most of the government agencies, no matter how, to make their workflow more effective, they have to integrate these GIS data sets into it, because everything they are doing still has to do with geographic locations. So without geospatial data, there is no way we can move forward as a country. So first thing first, once we have legal backing, that one will compel any government agency, either those saddled with the responsibility of maintaining boundary integrities or any geographic data, which I believe and pray to pass so very soon. So can you repeat the third question?
Okay, thank you very much. The third question is, please, are these data readily available and free to all users? So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, depends on the data set. Depends on the data set. There are a lot of open source data for free, a lot. In fact, late last year, I discovered a website that gives high resolution digital elevation model for free. And there are some data sets that you don't have to pay for, most especially vector data sets when it has to do with boundary or location of facilities and all that. We have thousands of data. Though if you are using it for commercial purpose and not for a project, if you request certain data sets from some government agency, they will ask you to pay. And as a student, they normally subsidize it. I remember I bought topo map from Osgov in 2017, and the rate they sell it to the normal people is different from the student own. If you are going there as a student, you want to buy data as a student, they will subsidize it for you. But if you buy for a particular project that they know you are using it for commercial purpose, you must pay. But most of the time, some basic data set you need for analysis, they will give you for free, and you can always get them for free on different websites.
Thank you very much, Adebayo. Thank you so much. So right now we have come to a section of this event where we play a little game. Is the Kahoot game. So a link will be dropped on the chat box, and also our screen will also change. So you should follow the instructions on the screen. to access this game, just a little game to test our knowledge on geospatial data, GIS, remote sensing, and yeah. So you could see the link is on the.
Let me join.
Okay, please kindly mute yourself. If you are just coming in, please kindly mute your mic. Thank you very much. So please, everyone, follow the link on the chat box to access this game. A winner will be presented also. Yes, so you could, I don't know if you have seen your screen. Is the www.kahoot.it. So when you access that website, you'll be prompted to insert a code. The code is 231145. So we can see Jeff has already registered. So please kindly, click on the link. Yes. Wow. Great. 4 people already. Okay, still counting. The game pin is on your screen right now. It is 9231145. 9231145. Okay, ready to go. So please answer the questions. Now, the first question is, which is not a method to get a qualitative data? Which is not a method to get a qualitative data? So we have the options there. Option 1, focus group.
Hello, I'm yet to be able to access the website.
Oh, okay. Go to www.kahoot.it. Hello. Then you'll be prompted to insert a code. So the code was shared on the previous screen. So the second question is, what does GIS do? Okay.
The code.
Yeah. Okay. The code for the game is okay. I'll paste it on the chat box so that everyone can see it. So the code is
Also, guys, we are on question 4 of 10. If you want to join the game, you can still join with the game pin 9231145 is at the bottom right corner of your screen.
Please, can you paste the code on the chat box so it will be easy for them to copy and paste it to link. All right. The pin is 9231145. www.kahoot.it. Thank you. Which of these is a GIS most like? A large combo, a happy meal, pizza, meals of pie with potato, with tomato sauce. So I'm sure we are all participating in this game. Please, if you are here to participate, go to www.kahot.it. So as you can see, some of the participants on the scoreboard, we have Tifemi and the rest. Now, who is the father of GIS? That is the next question. Who is the father of GIS?
Actually, Wampasu is the father of GIS if you are following the game on your device. Well, the 8th question now.
So this question is, one of the following is not a valid operation on vector data. One of the following is not a valid operation on vector data. We have join, we have intersect, we have merge, and we have destroy. So which of these is not a valid operation on vector data? We have come to the end of the game session.
I'm sharing the results now, and at the end of the result, the winner will be given a chance to speak to the audience. So the winner is Sam. Who is Sam?
The winner of this event is Sam. Please, Sam, can you raise up your hand so I could allow you, speak? Or you can kindly unmute your mic. Okay, Samson. All right. So you can unmute your mic right now. Do you have anything to say?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're welcome.
I just joined the event to know more about GIS because I am still at the inner stage of GIS application. I don't really know in depth about it. So, joining this, I just wanted to develop myself. I'm happy that I was able to gain.
All right. Sorry, Samson, your mic was breaking. So please, can you type it on the chat box? Then I'll read it out because your mic was breaking most of the time.
Okay, I'll do that just now.
All right. Thank you very much. So as you wait for Samson to type on the chat box, I hope the team are ready to present. So the presentation would be on how to navigate some available open data resources with Nigeria geospatial data. It's not about having geospatial data to work with. Are they local data that you can confidently work with? Are they accurate? And the panelists will be taking you through all that. I'm still waiting for Samson question. All right. Since you're waiting for something, so now our team will present a demo. This demo will be on how to access geospatial data in Nigeria. We'll be giving some of the links to some base maps, some satellite imageries, and other available data. It's not about just geospatial data alone. But when you want to analyze, you also need some attribute data that gives you information about the analysis. So I'll hand over the stage to Adebayo to start the presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. At Tessini Dombo, can you share your screen to do the sharing? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. Can we see my screen, please? Please, if you can see my screen. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, we can.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen. So please, everyone, this is one of the most important sessions of this event. So please kindly mute your mic. You can also turn off your video so you could, not have any interruption getting through this part of the program. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. This is a section whereby I believe every one of us would not like to miss. Here we are looking at repositories whereby we will be able to have good data sets, not just good data sets, correct data sets, whereby when you overlay these data sets, you are sure that you are not in the wrong place. So the first one we're looking at is the data repository for Nigeria, which is called Grid 3 Nigeria. So as you can see, this is the website, and this is the website, it's on its own. So due to time constraint, we might not be able to show you how to access this, but all you need to do is go back and you would be able to see how you can access this data on this platform. So it actually has a combination of all the data sets under administrative boundaries, data on commerce, energy, population, religion, settlements, water, sanitation, security, public facilities, health and safety, education and agriculture. And this covers the 37 or 36 states, including Abuja. So if you click on data sets, then you can actually search and you'll be able to see the data sets that are available. Earlier on, I talked about GeoJSON files. So you can make use of GeoJSON files to be able to export these data sets. Next is world population data set. You'll be able to use this to collect data from, you'll be able to use this to be able to get your data from this particular site. Everything that has to do with what? with population, then you'll be able to get that data set here. The next one is funding for what? OCHA. Now, this has to do with what? Distribution of funding for different humanitarian response in Nigeria. I think I'm going to give the screen back to Adebayo, and then I will allow control so that he can take it off from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tessini. Let me share my screen as well. Oh. So another website you can get accurate data is Diver GIS. I believe some of us, we are familiar with Diver GIS. So Diver GIS, you can get different data, different vector data sets in Nigeria, just like the same way we have Grid 3. But Grid 3 Nigerian projects, that one is just only Nigerian data. Grid 3 has different projects for different countries. But the Nigerian one is called Grid 3 Nigeria. Okay, cannot see my, let me reshare my screen.
Adebayo, we can't
Okay.
see it. Okay.
Can you see it now?
Okay,
So,
yes, we can see your screen now. Thank you.
Grid 3 Nigerian project, that one has only about Nigeria, but this particular website, you can get global level data set for the entire world. So if you are looking for shapefile of a particular place, local government, county, road networks, you can always use Diver GIS to get that. But Grid 3, they've already narrowed down some of these data sets to something that works for our region. And as a GIS analyst, as a researcher, you can also contribute to Grid 3 projects. So you can get different data sets from Grid 3, either land use, land cover, vector data set, about energy and all that. So this is another source. You just go to download, then you will see from different things you can get there. They are free, and they are also verified data. So another website you can get data is okay. Tessina has already mentioned WordPop. So I don't know, Tessini, can you share all the screen in the meeting chat so that maybe they want to try it out, then they can click on each of the website and see how the interface looks like. So for the WordPop, anything that has to do with population data set, either in raster format or in vector format, you can always get that from there. Please kindly share the link on the meeting chat so that I can just click it directly for everyone to see. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. As we wait for Tessini to share the link. So everyone should be aware that at the end of this event, we would share a list of all these links to you on an Excel sheet, all the open source data links to you, so you could explore after this event, navigate through them, say you download either satellite imagery or attribute data.
Okay, Let me request control on Tessini's system so that I can show us other websites. Tessini, are you there? Okay, this is another one. So this particular website is actually rich in information, and you can get data sets for Nigeria. When you go to data tab here, you will see different data layers you can download for free, from administrative, age and sex structure in raster format, beds, covariates, dependency ratio, and some other things. So, and they are all for free. Even urban changes, you can get everything on this website, WordPop. So another website is African Geoportal. I will employ every one of us. If we don't have African Geoportal account, you can always register for free. Then you will have access to different data sets for you to do your GIS analysis. So this particular data repository is powered by Esri, and you will get to see what data set, GIS analysis, what they have in store. All you need to do is just to go to this website, you sign up for free. Then once you sign up, you have access to use ArcGIS Online, which is a dynamic mapping platform you can use for your web GIS. So once you have that, you'll be able to navigate different data sets. Let me log in, then you see. Okay. I just sign in. So from this African Geoportal, if I go to data tab, I'll be able to see different data sets. Then from African Geoportal, you will see African Living Atlas. Just like the same way we have Living Atlas of the World on ArcGIS Online. All these one, they are data specific to African continent. So you see different data there. Then let me go to Portal. So this is Food and Agricultural Organization Desert Locust data. So you can explore the websites after this timeout to see what you have there. Then you see data for other West African countries as well, not only for Nigeria, because it's everything about Africa, right? So another website is where you can get free Landsat data, which is USGF, usgf.org. United States Geological Survey. So over the years, people have been using this Landsat for, they have been using Landsat for GIS analysis. Maybe you want to do land use cover, though the resolution is low, but you can still get some certain information out of it. Then you can use either high resolution based map to confirm your GIS analysis. The resolution of Landsat is about 30 meters. When you compare it to some certain workflow, you will see it's a very, very low resolution, but all the same, it's free. There are a lot of high resolution satellite imagery that are commercial, but they are not open. So you can leverage on Google Earth and make use of Google Earth imagery in ArcGIS environment. There is an extension to get Google Earth imagery for you to use in your ArcGIS. We can also share that link to you as well. So another website is Art Engine. Let me log into Art Engine. Art Engine. Art Engine. That's okay. So there is open topography. Oh, is there any mistake in the website? Art Engine.google.com. Okay, so this Art Engine website, you can get high resolution digital elevation model here, DEM. So the usual ASTER GDM that most of GIS analysts are familiar with, that one too is around 30 meter in resolution. But using this particular website, you can actually get higher resolution up to 8 meter resolution. Yes. So another website you can also use is OpenStreetMap. In one of our discussion, we mentioned OpenStreetMap as a community that GIS analysts, they contribute data. Then you can also make use of data from people. So when you log into OpenStreetMap, OpenStreetMap.org, then you can see different vectors layer. You have to sign up for it. It's free. You just register, then you can be a contributor. You can contribute to what people are doing, then you make use of the data. So it's a very, very good source, and most people have been leveraging on this particular data to do their GIS analysis. So there is Sentinel, there are thousands of it. So we just share a compiled list to all of you for you to at least check it out. We also, we've done some structuring on it, on which particular data set you can get from where. So once you have those documents, you'll be able to navigate the interface. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Adebayo, for going through all those helpful links and resources. It's really, it has really been an interesting walkthrough. So, because I could see the Earth Explorer there, where you can, access satellite imageries for the DTM analysis, land use, land cover, your topography analysis, and also one of the benefits is that you could, backdate in case you are doing an analysis that has to do with updates or revision. You could download imageries from 10 years back and so on and so forth. So as we come to the end of this great session, I would like to invite my colleague also, who is Precious. I don't know if she's on right now.
Yes, I'm online.
All right, thank you very much. Do you have anything to say?
Okay, thank you everyone. Can you all hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you everyone. Thank you for the presenters. So far we've really learned a lot of lessons. And okay, quickly, let me go through what Samson has posted. You know, we lost Samson earlier. He couldn't bring out his message. So Samson says, thank you for the opportunity. I am grateful to be a part of this. I am actually at GIS intermediate stage. Joining this event is to gain more knowledge, and I am happy that I have gained some things. Thank you very much. Thank you to Samson. At this point, we have come to a close, and I hope everyone has some big takeaways. We're also going to send you the links for some of the demos that we've seen, but that will be sent to your email address. So you should expect that, and the videos also, so that those of you that missed out some parts, you can also always catch up with them. So at this point, it is the fun part. I would like everybody to put on your videos. If your camera is, I believe your network is strong enough where you are, so you can put on, let me put on mine. So you put on your videos and we can see each other and say hi. We also want to take a picture of you. Can you see mine? Okay. Okay, so everyone, can you put on your videos and let's see you. Hello.
I'm seeing a lot of interesting faces.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Taufik, my colleague, I believe you can take those pictures now. Let us know when this is done so we can all put off the videos. Okay, Taufik, is this done? Hello. Okay, so I believe this is done. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you everyone for having you. And we're having subsequent events and we'll be sending you messages, and I hope we see you some other time. I want to see what you're doing also with the lessons you've learned and with all the data you've gotten, so all the data sources you've seen. So go and explore. And thank you. Have a good afternoon and bye.